Hey guys, Zach Tyler here. Just coming out with a deck profile. You asked for 5 or more likes on the TimeSworns video, and you guys gave it to me, so as promised, here it is, TimeSworns. Yeah, they're pretty good, pretty competitive. They have their flaws and drawbacks, so yeah, I'll just get right into it, and then I'll tell you some combos at the very end, and then kind of the problems and strengths of the deck. So first we'll go into it. I call it Cephalon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Cephalon, the ultimate Time Lord, kind of what the whole deck revolves around. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summon from your hand by having 10 or more monsters in your graveyard. It cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can special summon one level 8 or higher fairy type monster from your hand or graveyard. Its effects are negated and its attack becomes 4,000. So yeah, this card, just one of the boss cards of the deck. The OTK of the deck was with this card and Heavy Storm, you do him, 8,000 damage right there. Yeah, he's just a really, really good card. So, and getting 10 monsters, as you see, I run a 30 monster count with 10 spells and traps. Getting the setup isn't that hard at all. It really isn't. It'll take 1 to 2 turns at most, usually. So yeah, then we'll get into Judge and Dragon, the other really good boss card. Unless you know what Judge and Dragon does, but we'll read him anyway. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summon from your hand by having 4 or more Lightsworn monsters with different names in your graveyard. And cannot be special summoned in other ways. You can pay 1,000 to blow up every other card in the field, and then during the end phase, and the top 4 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So yeah, Judge and Dragon is amazing. You can blow up cards, you can bait out their answers and all that good stuff. Yeah, really good boss card. Argel Christia, 4 or more fairy type monsters in your graveyard. You can special summon this card if you have that. When you do, target 1 fairy type monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. The player can special summon monsters, and then if it was sent to the field of the graveyard, it returns to the top of the deck instead. Another boss card, and also if you special summon him, if Cephalon is in your graveyard, you can add Cephalon back to your hand with Christia's effect, so that's always good. So yeah, another boss card of the deck, and there are other things we can do with these 7, which I'll go into later in the very end with the combo section. Alright, so we got 3 Yados. The Yados is mainly for if you draw him first turn when you haven't milled anything yet. You can special summon him to either get a 2,500 beater on the field, or you can bait out their warnings. A big part of this deck is baiting out, and I'll explain that later. But yeah, so he's really good for baiting, and he's also a target for trade-in, Monster Reincarnation, Lumina, and Cephalon. So yeah, just good card in general. Meteon, the Time Lord, he's an extremely good card. Cannot be special summoned from the deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon this card without attributing. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from battles involving this phase of attack position card. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, return all other monsters on the field to the hand and inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card returned. During your standby phase, shuffle this card into the deck, even if face down. So this guy's really good because you can get over Zen Main and Stardust Dragon, or just if they have a whole field and you top deck this card, he's also extremely good. And he's a stall because they can't really attack into him or destroy him except if they don't attack, except by until your next standby phase. So it's like you get a free turn off him a lot of times. And he also is good to bait out their warnings, judgments, Phoenix Chains, anything like that. So yeah, really good card. And he's a fairy target for Christia and Time Lord and all that kind of stuff. Then you got Twaldin. If you control 2 or more monsters at the start of your opponent's battle phase, and all of them are destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand during that battle phase. If you do, choose an attribute and destroy all face-up monsters with that attribute. Your opponent cannot normal special summon monsters with that attribute. So he's good. You don't really use his effect too much. If it happens, it's amazing because you especially for archetype decks, you just crush them. But mainly, he's just a target for Cephalon, Christia, and trade-ins. That's the main thing for the draw power. And he's not really ever a dread draw because Monster Reincarnation, Luminas, or stuff like that. And then you got the Lightsword engine. You got 1 Jane, 1 Aaron, 1 Wolf, 1 Arukas, 2 Lila for back row destruction and then baiting out, 3 Raikou for the bait out, 1 Celestia for the fairy target, and then for the name. And then 2 Luminas to take care of some of your dead draws if you get on them, and then just to mill a lot. And you can also go XYZ summoning with her and stuff like that. And then 3 Magical Merchants, kind of another heart of the deck. As you see, I have a 30 monster count. So Magical Merchant's effect, it's pick up cards from the top of your deck until you pick up a spell or trap card. Add that card to your hand and send the remaining cards to the graveyard. So he's really good just because you get, on average, statistically, you'll get about 4 monster cards to the graveyard if this card effect pulls off. And you get a spell, and all my spells are very crucial. You got the 6 draw engine, which is really good to get. You got Heavy Storm, which if you have Cephion in your hand, and with him you get the setup, and then with his effect you get the Heavy Storm, it's just an instant KO. And it happens more often than you would think. And yeah, it's just really good. It keeps the deck flowing, because not only does it get your setup with the mill, but it also usually will get a draw power card, a mill card, a Heavy Storm, or just something that just keeps it moving. So really good. And then you get your Swift Scarecrow, mainly because a lot of times in the deck, and especially in the first couple turns, or maybe first turn, if they negate your first move, you'll have a wide open field, and that can be kind of dangerous. So getting a Swift Scarecrow in there is really good, just for just a little bit more defense and a little bit more keeping alive to get the setup and to get the boss cards out. And then you got a Phantom of Chaos. Phantom, just mainly because it's an amazing card. If you have your boss cards in your graveyard, you can move and play one of them. It gains, let's say, move and play JD. Phantom gains JD's effect, pay 1,000, blow up the whole field. And you can also bait out their Solemns and their Phoenixes with it, because they know you're going to probably target JD or one of the cards in your graveyard, and they don't want that. So that's also really good. And then you got your 1 charge just to add 1 Lightsworn, and then the mill effect. Heavy for your OTKs and to get rid of the back row, and anything you need. 3 solar recharges and 3 trade-ins. Draw power of the decks, and usually you want to discard a Lightsworn monster. You draw 2, mill 2. This card is amazing in this deck. And then also the 3 trade-ins. And a lot of time, if you use a trade-in or solar recharge, you'll draw into another solar recharge or trade-in. Like if you saw when I was undueling network with this deck, I think I drawn into and milled 22 cards in my deck. So right in the first turn, right there, just with getting all the draw and all the discard effects. So yeah, definitely great cards. And then 2 monster reincarnations. I run 2 because there's a lot of boss cards, and you really need to. And the discard effect is also really good for getting out your dead draws and stuff. So yeah, 2 is excellent. And then for the extra, just Utopias for XYZ, Utopia Ray, Levares and Leviathans for your Luminas. And then Gustav Max, the Super Dreadnought, Railway Gun, whatever it's called. 2 level 10 monsters, just because you can do this. You can Time Lord and then get another Time Lord, and then just go straight into him. And then Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Hylipopolis, whatever the hell it's called. Just really good because there's a lot of easy ways to get 2 level 8s on the field. Especially you can just go Judgment Dragon, Time Lord, Special Summon a Fairy, and then there you go. It's just a good card. So yeah, we'll quickly go over some combinations and OTKs of the deck. We'll go over OTK first, and then ways to play the deck. 1 OTK, which I mentioned, is Heavy Storm and Cephion, just a very quick OTK. It's also a lot better if you've already used Metaion, because they'll already have a slight burn. So you can, even if they have if you already use Metaion and you already burn them a little bit, you can Heavy and Cephion even if they have a monster in the field, because more than likely they already have taken some damage. So that's really good. Judgment Dragon, another OTK, is just a Judgment Dragon. They know you're going to pay 1,000, so they're going to Solemn Warning it, or use an answer on it, and then you just go Cephion for the OTK. So you bait out with Judgment. 2 Cephion is also an OTK, or just 2 Cephion and Judgment Dragon, and they're just plenty of ways just to instantly blow your opponent out. But I'm going to concentrate more on how to play this deck. This deck is extreme bait out. You want to bait their answers out. Heavy is good for just getting rid of them, but you're not always going to get Heavy, obviously, because it's 1 card, and especially if you mill it or something. So really the best way to play this deck is to mill out, or not mill out, but bait out. One way to do this is Lila. Your normal Lila, and they know what you're going to do. Like if you already had the setup, if you already have a Judgment Dragon and a Cephion in your hand, and you don't want them, you think they have a warning, you don't want them to destroy those. The normal Lila, they know you're going to do something, so they'll activate their warning on it. They don't want their warning to be destroyed or whatever magic trap to be destroyed. And if they do that, that's perfect, because then their answer is gone, and then you special summon Cephion, special summon JD or whatever, and they don't have anything to do with it. So that's kind of, honestly, Lila is more of a bait card than a destruction card in this deck. My other bait is Guardian Yados. Unlike this, if it's your second turn, you went second, and you don't have any card in your graveyard, You special summon Guardian Gyarados, and more often than not, they will do something to it, because 2500 beater on the field is kind of scary, and sometimes they don't know what deck you're running with him usually, because it's kind of a weird deck to run Gyarados. So yeah, and if they do, like, don't feel discouraged. If they waste one of their answers on your Gyarados, that's exactly what you want. Another way to do it is to bait out with Metayon. So normal summon Metayon, they know you're going to be doing, his effect, and then they'll probably warning it or finish it, or they'll do something, because they'll be scared of that. And then all this bait is to get out these guys, because if you can bait their answers out with another card, like, so let's say you have like a Cephion and a Dungeon Dragon in the hand, you'll normal the Lila. They use their Solemn Warning on it because they know you're going to solemn something, or they use their Phoenix, they do something on it, and then you just special summon either one of those and go for whatever. You'd also bait out with the boss cards themselves. Like, let's say you have a Cephion in your hand and they have a lot of back row, or a couple back row. You can special summon Dungeon Dragon, and you call priority, and you say you're going to pay 1,000. Then they're going to warning it because they don't want that to happen and destroy everything. And then after they've used their answers on it, you special summon your Cephion, or vice versa. You do the same thing with Christia. You can just special summon Christia. They don't want the special summon effect, and they're usually pretty scared by Christia. They'll bait their answer on it, and then you can just blow them out with Cephion and Dungeon Dragon. One more last really good combo you can do is, if you have Duality in your hand, you can Lumina effect to get another TimeSworn, and then Lila, and then Lila effect to blow up a card, and then end your turn with it, and then you mill like 6, which is really good, and you want to mill that much. And then if they just attack into them while Duality is in your hand and destroy them both, instant Duality right there. It's probably the most common way you can get Duality out. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's extremely good. So yeah, there's the TimeSworn deck. It's pretty competitive. It's a decent deck. Problems with the deck, just like Light Sworns, it doesn't have any answers, doesn't really say no a lot. But this deck, I would almost say, is better than Chaos Light Sworns or whatever, just because you have so many more boss cards, you can bait out so much better, and you can just explode them away. And also the draw power is a lot better with these trade-ins. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and then I guess one last thing. Some people might say, oh, what about so many cards that can dead draw? And almost honestly never dead draws. You have so many discard effects. You have trade-in, Monster Reincarnation, Luminas, and with that alone, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 discard effects that you can just get them out of your hand with. And then, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, give feedback if you want to try out another build and ask me, questions about it, and there's questions about this build or whatever. Tell them to me, and give you advice on it. And it's decently competitive deck. So yeah, guys, hope you liked it, and I'll see you later. Go to my channel for more budget / dark horse decks that are still competitive. And yeah, see you later, YouTube.